Greetings. Welcome to the live stream. You are welcome. I was just typing my email address in there. Welcome. Greetings. You are very welcome. Decided to do a live stream this evening. It's evening here in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. It is 9:22 p.m. Decided to do a live stream. I am at home in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and decided to come to you today. And you're welcome. Karibu Sana, Karibuni to the channel. You're very welcome. So, thought I'd do a live stream today. And yeah, I just wanted to chat with my people. I wanted to say Karibu Sana, you're welcome. I wanted to say thank you for taking the time to jump in this stream. Thank you for taking the time to review this stream. And I am trying to get into the habit of doing more live streams. Um, Videos are really easy to do, but I like interacting with people to see what they're talking about, how they're doing, how it's going. I am a native to New Jersey in America, born and raised in the USA. And I left back in July of 2020 and I relocated to the continent of Africa. I have been here 5 years this year. All is well. I created a company, physical company here in the country, Diaspora Connect LLC. It is a consultation company where I do teaching, I do staffing, it's like a temporary agency staffing. And thirdly, is something I have not done, but I am working on doing, which is rentals, Airbnbs. Yeah, so acquiring land to do that. I don't want to do it on someone else's property. I want to acquire land for the company so I can do rentals and Airbnb. So real estate. Those three things is what I'm physically doing here. In Tanzania. So all is well. I have traveled to a couple of places. I haven't been traveling much lately, but I am going to start back traveling in the next, maybe I would say year or so, start traveling around more often. I do want to check out South Africa. And so if you come into the live stream, don't forget to thumbs up. Hopefully everyone can hear me well. I think you can see me well, but hopefully you can hear me well. If you can hear me okay, someone please put a 1 in the chat if everything is clear, if you can hear me well. I decided to do, instead of using StreamYard, I am on the regular streaming of the live streaming from the computer. So I'm on my computer, which is why the screen is wider. Every time I try to stream on the computer and I use StreamYard, it's glitchy. Is this real glitchy? I'm using the actual webcam to stream. So hopefully this will be better. I like this better because the picture is wider as well as I can see the chat clearly. It's larger. So I kind of like this way of streaming. I think I might start using this way. I think I've only used this way once, and I usually go into StreamYard, but this way seems so far so good. We'll see how it goes after this stream to see if this is the way I'll stream from now on. I like to use the phone because they give you kind of benefits, or they like you to do vertical live streams. So that's why I would use the computer more often. I mean, the phone more often. For some reason, YouTube likes to promote and push the vertical lives. I don't see if I'm getting any benefit from it because I don't see any difference in like the views or anything, but I don't know. Maybe they'll push your content more, or maybe they'll push your lives more if you do more vertical lives than anything. I don't know. Yeah. So I guess I'll test it out, trying to test different ways to see which one is more beneficial to the channel, beneficial to the views, beneficial to the watch hours. Yeah. So, but anyway, hi everyone. You're welcome. Hi, CLMont04. Welcome. I was subscribed from your channel. Yes, exactly, CLMont04. A lot of people are being unsubscribed. And so that's why I always say, welcome, chosen Juditess, the Shemites, welcome. Have you watched Non-Sedative, the first episode? A lot of people are being unsubscribed to my channel. So that's why I always say, hit on the notification bell. Make sure you still subscribe, because people are being unsubscribed from not only mine, a lot of the people who speak truth, a lot of the people who speak hard topics, and even people who don't. I think I've heard people saying a lot of their people have been unsubscribed, as well as a lot of their views are not like how they should be. I just got monetized in April, so my views range. So I'm still not able to see if the views have been impacted. So I'm not sure about that, but I know people are being unsubscribed. So please make sure you're still subscribed. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up. Please make sure you share the video or the stream if you know anyone that's interested in visiting Tanzania, relocating, if they're interested in my life in Africa, how I have been able to successfully be here 5 years doing business and living here and basically thriving here. So yeah, all is well. I am at home this evening, and as you can see, I live a very simple life. Simple. I don't have a lot of fanciness going on. I just have basically things I need, the basic stuff. So yeah, but all is well. I have everything. I'm comfortable. I have everything I need. So yeah, but all is well. We do have a water issue right now. I don't know. I've heard from locals that usually there are some water issues around October, November, December time. And I know this is election month here in Tanzania, so things are usually during election months, things are different. Things that we should do as foreigners during election time is be low key, stay out of the city. It's good if you live in the rural areas, that you're outside the city anyway. I live outside the city, so my area is normal as usual. Every day, my normal stuff is usual. But when you live in the city, you have to be a little bit more low key as a foreigner, because you don't want to get caught up in different places where people are marching and all this political stuff going on during election months, during election times of elections. It's good to stay kind of low key. If you're a foreigner, stay out of it. Mind your own business when it comes to these different countries' political stuff. Yeah. So for me, I usually focus on America's political stuff, because I am a citizen of America. Even though I'm in this country, I'm in Tanzania, but I'm not a citizen. So they stuff is their own business. I stay out of it. I don't have a say so either way. I just have a say so about what's going on in America, even though I'm not there, because a lot of the things that are happening there will affect me because I'm still a citizen. So that's why I talk about America and U.S. issues. When people ask me, if you're in Tanzania, why are you talking about American issues? Because they still impact me. They still affect me. I still get funds from there. Even though I have some things going on here, I'm still a citizen there, right? So that's why I still talk about it. Now, yeah, so make sure you still subscribe. Don't forget the thumbs up. Hit on the notification bell. Comment if you would like to. Thank you for jumping in. You're welcome, Karibu. If you say hello, that will be great. Chosen Juditis says, the digital ID, have I watched Non-Sedative? The first episode in the third series of the British science fiction. No, I have not. I don't even watch. I don't even really watch movies and all that. I do watch some documentaries, but my whole focus lately have been on documentaries about who we are. So I haven't really been focused so much on documentaries about other people, which the digital ID will impact us. But I already know what it is. I already know it's demonic beast systems technology. I already know it's to control you and take away all your freedoms. So I don't really need to focus on the in-depth of it, because I know the gist of what it is. And whether I was in America or outside of America, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. I like freedom. I value my freedom. My ancestors fought and died for us some freedoms. Most of the freedoms that we have in America from the 50s or the 40s, before the civil rights, we got through our ancestors fighting for our rights. Even though we weren't completely free in that, our oppressors, our enemies, our captors run everything. They're over us, but we attained a level of freedom based on what we were. But now it's been kind of rolled back. So even the little that we had has been taken from us. So it's like we're back in the 40s and 50s again, before civil rights. We're literally back in that situation right now in America. So CO Mind 04. Yeah, I heard they have it in Europe already, and the people are, yes, they have it in Europe. Hey, Marie, welcome. Always glad to see you. Do your live. Thank you so much, Marie. Thank you so much. I said I was going to do this more often because I like to interact with our people. Yes, I like to do videos, but I also like to hear from people to see what they got going on, see what they're talking about. I watch videos, but it's different when most of my demographics, 50% of my demographics is in America. They're Americans. So I do like to, just come live so they can say whatever, and they can, with this topic we can share. Most people know what this digital ID is, and yes, it's being rolled out in the UK, and this demonic child of the devil is pushing it, and it's in effect right now there. And so you do know that right behind it, it's going to come to America, because Europe and America, they brothers and sisters. Everything that's happening in the European countries is going to come to us right away. So just be prepared for that. Just know that you won't be able to buy or sell without it. Your freedoms will be gone. Everything will be in that digital ID, and they can shut your bank off. They can shut you out if you don't do what they say. Like, yeah, you will be a slave again, family. You will be a slave again. So it's that serious. Black Mirror prepares us. Yeah, I haven't seen Black Mirror either, sis. Since I knew all this, Chosen Judatis, the Shemites, I knew all of this was coming, which is why I left when I did. I left in 2020. The reason I left is because I foresaw and that all this stuff will come. I just didn't want to be inside the country when it happened. I feel like I will have more control over my life outside of the country. Not that it won't be, dispersed throughout the world. It will, but I knew that being in a country that's not as developed would be it would take a little bit more for them to control a country that's not as developed, where the infrastructure is not set up for technology. So in actuality, underdeveloped or developing countries that's not totally developed, like first world developed, they would be actually the safest places for you to be, because you can be like off grid. You can be, and when you're off grid, it's a lot of untapped areas in underdeveloped countries. It's a lot of untapped areas that's out in the off grid, in the bush, basically. So there's not a lot of satellites. There are ways that you can live a little bit more freely without being controlled. Yeah, you have to be off grid in that you have to have something set up for your water. You have to have some set up, for your lights, solar panels, solar lights or lamps, or borehole wells. You have to do stuff like that, but it's worth it for your freedom. It's worth it to maintain your freedom and not be all tied up to this whole system. It is going to be at a point where you may not have money. You may only have your land and your food that you grow. But if you have your land that you purchase, or someone purchases, or, off grid, you have your land, you have a borehole, and then you have your solar panels and your food, you don't really need money. You really don't need money, because you got everything you need. So even if you, for example, if you had land, you can put a fence up, a wall, a concrete wall or fence up, and you can have a tent until you have the money to build a structure. So, it's ways that you could avoid being controlled and dominated by this digital ID beast system situation that they are setting up. Because once they set everything up, they can cut you off anyway. People are like, oh, I don't want to leave America or UK or whatever because of money, but they're going to end up controlling your money anyway. And if you don't do what they say do, then they can shut your money off anyway. They can shut the tap off. They can freeze your bank account. So you'll be forced to do what they want you to do. You'll be forced to be transhumanism. You'll be forced to get a device in your body that could, that's not how you are made. Your maker didn't make you with these technologies inside your body to be controlled. And then you risk your eternity when you do that. When you change what your creator made and you start using man-made stuff in your body, then you jeopardize losing your soul. Because then they can control your temple. They can control your body, and then your mind won't be right enough. It won't be clear enough to accept to know who your creator is, to accept your Messiah. You'll be warped basically. So you cannot allow transhumanism them to put devices in your body, because you won't be the same. It changes your makeup. It changes your DNA. So it's very serious. So we can't take it lightly. People should be setting themselves up. Unfortunately, I feel like staying in the West and trying to be off grid won't really help you when they know the ins and outs of the country. They have a map of the U.S. They have a map of these Western nations. And so they know every ounce of it. But when you're talking about other countries that's off grid, like whether it's Panama, the Caribbeans, anywhere, whether it's Brazil, whether it's even on the continent, they have places that are not, the infrastructure is not set up to be controlled by that digital ID. For example, in Africa, the only way they can really push the digital ID is in the cities. So like Nairobi, Dar es Salaam, like Lusaka, Zambia, like, a lot of places, Johannesburg or Cape Town, or all the, Accra, Lagos, all these major cities, they can control the people in those cities. But if you live outside of those, and if you live in the bush, or if you live in the rural areas, then they don't have access like that to you. So you'll be actually safer, family. So every time I put this light on my phone, let me see if I can set something up for my lights. It starts to get dim. I charge it, but let's see. Okay, I think that's okay. So yeah, we have to think about how we can survive off the grid, basically survive without being controlled. It's going to be difficult, especially financially. So for example, in America, a lot of our people don't have like food. They don't grow their own food. They depend on grocery stores. They depend on the hospitals. They depend on all the stuff that they are used to, the conveniences, right? So it's going to be easier to control people like that because they depend on those specific systems. So you have to set yourself up in a way where you're outside of those systems. And yes, it's not going to be convenient. And yes, it's going to be different, totally different from how you're used to living. But you have to pick and choose. It's a choice that you have to make. Do you want to live off grid and try to survive on your own with freedom, or are you going to lose your freedom and stay inside the city for convenience sake, because you can't survive without your government? If you can't survive without your government taking care of you, then you're going to be controlled by the beast system. And then they even going to make it to where you're going to have to choose. It's right now, it's going to be like, oh, if you don't get the digital ID, then you can't eat. It's going to get to a point where they're going to be like, if you don't accept this, then either you accept this or we unalive you. It's going to get to that point where you're going to have to choose between basically life and death physically. But it's like, if you accept this beast system stuff and you accept it over death, then you lose your salvation. It's going to get to that point, which is why the Bible talks about you accept the mark of the beast or you die. It's going to get to that point. Yep, that's right. Chosen Judatis, the Shemites. That's right. Watch therefore and pray always that you may be counted worthy to escape all of the things that are to come, to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. Luke 21:36, that's absolutely correct. So we have to prepare. And that's why I want to talk about this topic, because some people don't make the connection and they don't see how important it is for you to prepare for such a time that it's here now, family. It's here now. Look what's going on in the UK right now. And I'm so glad I'm not in the UK. I'm glad I'm not in the US. I'm watching all this. And I feel like I'm in a safe place because I'm in a place where I can be in the bush, fam. There are people who actually live in the bush. We have some people that have land in the bush. We have people here in Tanzania that got stuff going on, farms in the bush. They're not on the grid. They have their own borehole. They have their own food because they got a farm. They got land. They got a farm. They got water. So, for example, I'm here in Tanzania. If I needed to go to the bush, I know people who are from the diaspora that got land right now, that's living like that I could, I might have to stay on their land until I get myself together. You just never know, but you have to have a plan together where you won't be a slave to the new world order, and you won't be a slave to this beast system digital ID situation. 1 second, fam. I was trying to plug this light up, but oh wait. But yeah, we have to make preparations. We have to make plans. What are we going to do? Don't just sit there. And I know us as Black people in America, we resting and we not marching, but it's more to it than you have to do more than just be resting. You have to do more than just be dancing. You have to do more than just be like, I ain't involved. You sit, relax, rest, dance, and you're not involved until you are involved, to where you under this system where you can't get food unless you get it, and you haven't made any preparations or any plans as to what you're going to do. You have to know that they will come for your land in America. They will come for your land. They're going to come for your house. They're going to come for your items. So if you are a prepper, they're gonna come for yourself, or people in your neighbors going who didn't plan gonna come for your stuff. So you're gonna be fighting basically for your life. You're gonna be fighting for your stuff and fighting for your life. So who wants to go through that if you don't have to? If you have to, then you just have to. You gotta fight for your stuff, right? But if you don't have to, you may have to come out of that place, family. It's a hard reality. A lot of people don't want to leave America, but you may have to come out for your safety of you, your family, your children, your grandchildren, just for survival, basically. Because you don't want everybody to have to be running, living like that, fighting, living just, yeah. So if you love your freedom and your freedom of speech, you value being able to speak truth. You cannot hide in your house, because your house, they will come in. ICE has been going into people's houses. They will use a battering ram to knock your door down and go in your house. You cannot keep these devils away. You can't keep these devils out of your property, off your land. It's not enough protection that you will have to keep these devils from taking what you have, because it is their land. Or even if we were there before them, which we were, it's not in our hands. Like, we don't own America. So your life is still going to be in their hands. And it is in the hands of your maker, your father, our creator. But he also gives you wisdom to make plans, make some kind of plans, make some kind of provisions for yourself. Whether you stay or you go, just know what's coming, because whatever is done in the UK is coming to the US. And at this point, family, it's no more fear mongering. This is no more a fear mongering conversation. This is facts, family. It's actually happening. Martial law, digital ID, loss of freedom of speech, loss of just freedoms to do certain things that you were able to do just a couple of months ago in certain cities where ICE is. In Chicago, look what's going on. In Memphis, in different places. Some people say it's cutting down crime, but just be realistic. The digital ID is not, it's to control you. They will control everything, all your money. They will tell you if you can travel or not. They will tell you how much is too much money. You will be controlled, fam. I personally can't live like that. Yeah, I can't be controlled like that. Like I would rather leave than be controlled. I can't be controlled. My ancestors went through way too much to be stuck in a place where they control us again. They got out of being controlled into a place where they had more freedom to do business and to thrive and to go to school and to travel. But now you're losing it again. So you're getting to a point where you were before civil rights, and then you'll be in the same situation that our ancestors were. And I refuse to go back to that. That's why I left when I did 5 years ago, because I foresaw this. The Bible speaks of it, but I foresaw this. So I'm in a safe place. I am out. And I say, if I don't stay here in this country, Tanzania, I'll go to another African country. But Africa, the continent of Africa, is going to be where I spend the rest of my days. I'm not going back to any Western countries. I want to be around Africans for the remainder of my life. The second half. The first half, I had to spend it with other people being over me, ruling over me. Now I'm in Africa, and I'd rather be around people who look like me. No, the government is not perfect. Yeah, they got issues too. But for me, I look for countries that are safe and they're peaceful. So whether I stay in Tanzania or not, if I go to another country, it's going to be a country that's safe and peaceful. It's not going to be a war-torn country with coups and war. I'm not going to no African countries like that. It's going to be the peaceful ones. It's the ones I will decide to go to. So, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about this digital ID. I don't know if some people understand how serious it is. I don't know if you understand that it's right around the corner. If it doesn't happen in 2025, for sure, it'll happen in 26. It may be in January 26, but you don't want to get to a point where you get stuck, where they say nobody can travel. Either digital ID or nobody can leave the country. Digital ID or no one, you don't want to get to that point where you get stuck. That's what I mean, stuck. So, you won't be able to leave. And then you have to you got to live on the run, live fighting, try to protect your stuff and running from here to there. It's just, I'm too old to be doing that. I'm too old to be running like that. I want to be somewhere peaceful. I want to be somewhere safe. I want to be somewhere I have freedom. Yes, within reason, you can say certain things, then you can't say certain things. You have to use wisdom. But for the most part, I want to be free. I want to be by the ocean. I want to be by the mountains. I want to be able to do those type of things in peace. I don't need no Karens hovering over me, watching me, harassing me. I don't need that. So I haven't had that in 5 years. So I don't miss it. I don't miss it because the whiteys that you have here in Africa, they don't act like that. They know better. They are controlled here. They have self-control here, family. Every now and then someone will get out the pocket, but these locals will put them in their place, even though they do love them, but they will allow you only to do so much before they say something to you. So yeah, but they don't push the envelope here. I've seen them. They don't do that here. Yeah. And actually, to be honest, it's not a lot of white Americans here. It's not a lot of white Americans in Tanzania. It's mainly white people from other European countries, Germany, Russians, Ukrainians, different people from other places. But they can play like they humble. So the American ones are the worst. The American ones and I always say this, the white people in America and the Afrikaners, those two are the worst Europeans out of all of the Europeans. Those two groups are the very worst, most racist, most ignorant with the racism. Those two are the very worst. And it's not a lot of them around here. So I'm happy about that. It's more Arabs and Indians here in Tanzania. And they don't bother us. They don't act like those Europeans do. So a lot of people, a lot of locals tell me, they bad too. They are, but it's different. They don't act the same. And they don't act like the ones that are in America. The ones in America go through immigration and they train them against us. The ones here, they're around all Africans. They act the way they do, but they mistreat our brothers and sisters, but they don't do us like that. It's crazy. They have a level of respect for us. So that's one thing that I've noticed living here in Tanzania. The Arabs and the Indians, they have kind of some respect for us. It's kind of weird when they hear our accent and they figure out that we're from the West. They treat us a certain way. I don't know if it's because we got USD. I don't know, but long nobody don't bother me. That's all I want. I don't want nobody. Nobody don't have to serve me or nothing. But I just don't want to be harassed like we get in America. I want to live in a place where I have peace. I go to the stores, go shopping, to the mall, wherever I go, I get respect. So more than respect. I mean, like, I get a lot of respect. Like, they've been raised very respectful on the continent. So you get that when you go in the stores, nobody's watching you, following you, think you go steal. They like, Karibu, you welcome. Like, they're just overly friendly. And so I love that living here. I love that. Chosen Juditus says, I chose Hawaii amongst the Polynesian people, although the U.S. put a stamp on the Hawaiian king. Yeah, the Polynesian people love us. Yep. Anybody that's of dark heritage, they're better. Not that they're perfect, but at least they're used to seeing melanin. So they ain't shocked about the skin color, because a lot of them are, Arabs, and they're darker featured. Yeah, nobody is as bad as the white European people. They're like the worst when it comes to racism and stuff. So I don't want to live around them anymore. Like, from this point forward, it'll be sub-Saharan Africa for me, and around people that my complexion are darker, a lighter, just as long as they're Afro descent, right? Afro descent. So that's where I feel the most peace. I have a lot of peace here in Tanzania. I feel very at peace here. So, but yeah. So this digital ID, family, it is very, very serious. Please take it seriously. It's not a joke, and it's right around the corner. So what are you going to do? I love these glasses. I don't know if y'all was growing up, we used to have these back in the day. I love these glasses here. But yeah, what is your plan? What are you going to do for you and your family? Especially a lot of brothers are like, we're going to stay here and fight. Okay, does your wife want to fight? Do the kids want to fight? If the men want to fight, that's natural for men to want to fight, because that's who they are. They fight. But does your wife want to do that? Does your mama want to do that? Do your auntie want to? I'm talking about the women and the children and the elderly. Do they want to do that? Elderly people have fought already, especially if they're in their 60s, 70s, whatever, 80s. They already went through the struggle and the fight, or they saw the struggle and the fight of our ancestors before civil rights or during civil rights. So I'm sure a lot of them are like, I can't do this again. I know a lot of them are probably like, I cannot do this again, because they don't roll back all the work that they done did. And now they got to start all over and do it again at their elderly age. I'm sure they want to get out. I'm more than sure they want to get out. So the elderly, the women, and the children, they don't deserve to stay there and have to fight and be running for their life and scared that some mob is going to come busting in their house and do something to them. Like, yeah. And that's what the deportation crew, I hate to say what they are. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's what the deportation crew are. They are the white mobs. They were given instructions to exterminate, fam. They were given instructions to exterminate anybody that's not like them, that don't look like them, that's not European. They were given orders to exterminate. So it's just a matter of time before they You see them on YouTube somewhere, that is spraying our neighborhoods, spraying. That's what's going to happen, fam. See on my 04, yeah, it's concerning for sure. So many family members have no idea. When you tell them these things, they look like you have exactly on your head at this. Exactly, our people are like fast asleep. I'm knowing. I'm on Facebook and I'm watching my family, and I'm watching people's pictures, and I'm like, they living like they're resting. They literally resting, vacationing, staying low key and dancing. They doing all this because they not really seeing like what's happening, what's being put in place. As if you see every day, Trump is saying something more that's leaning closer and closer to the loss of your freedoms. But people are dancing. Our people are sleeping. Our people are relaxing. Our people saying they ain't get involved. They turning their eyes away until you can't go in that grocery store. You can't go in that grocery store, or your bank account is like you going to get money to buy a ticket to go somewhere, or to buy a car, or to make a large purchase, and they're like, you're not allowed that kind of money. What you need this money for? You're gonna be stuck there. You stuck there. So, and people, you in the past when I've done videos saying get out, get out, get out, people, oh, you're fear mongering. Oh, you're fear mongering. It's not fear mongering because it's happening as we speak. Let me plug up my light real quick, fam. Let me see. What is this? Okay, it's plugged up because it looks a little like it's getting a little dark. But let me see if I got a flashlight on here. 1 second, fam. Let me see what this light looks like. Oh, it's kind of bright. Let's see. Oh, that's okay. What's going on? Cancel. Okay. My phone acting weird, y'all. My phone acting cray. What's going on with my phone? Let me see, family. I'm trying to turn this light on. Okay, let's see what this looking. Let me see what this looking like. Okay, it's a little bit better. Okay, it's a little bit brighter. So, okay. Let's see. Tim, I'm a man in my mid. Hey, Tim, welcome. I'm a man in my mid 40s and I don't want to fight this battle. I'm tired, working to find my way out ASAP by the grace of the Most High. I know that's right, Tim. I ain't got the energy. Tim, I ain't got the energy. That's why I left when I did, because I knew it was going to be bad after COVID. See, I left during COVID and I already knew. I was like, yeah, I can't be in this place. This nonsense going on. Marie said, that's right. They just have to see more things happening. This is so sad. It is very sad, Marie. TY, so all we can do is put our trust. That's right, TY. Put our trust in Most High himself, in God, Most High God himself. They're doing the same thing with, yup, that's true. So you do have to put your trust in our maker. Just know you got a maker. He see everything and he is aware, but he can give you ideas. He can pray to him and ask, what direction should I go in? I'm looking for the money for this ticket, or the money to be able to survive, or whatever, right? Show me what I need to do. He will show you. He will make a way out of no way. He's been doing it for me the whole time I've been here, family. The whole time I've been in Africa 5 years, I did not know how Sometimes I was living like day to day, depending on our Father to make provisions or find a way for me. Because even though I have like different streams of income, none of them are like when you get paid. You know how like when you get paid a paycheck, you know you're going to get this check on this date every day. But when you have your own business and you have different streams of income, you don't always know when you're going to get a consultation. You don't always know when you're going to get maybe a donation. You don't always know, even with the business here, with the T shillings that you might make, it's not a whole lot. But the good thing is here, it don't cost a lot to eat here, and the bills are not as expensive as in the West. So the little bit that streams in here and there, you can manage here. But not that I have to pray on a regular basis. I have a prayer that I pray every night. Father, thank you for your provision. Thank you that you have met all my needs. Like, thank you that, I'm calling finances from the north, south, east, west. I have to pray regularly for provisions, family. So I got to do that all the time. I've had to do that. I pray more for provision than I ever prayed in my life since I've been here for 5 years. And he's been making a way. He's been providing the money from total strangers, fam. Total strangers. You'll have favor. There are people that be like, you don't know, people can give you a place to stay. They can be like, you know what? The Father touched my heart. God, they call the Most High God, touched my heart. And I want to do this for you. I want to do this. I see that you're doing this and doing that. Like, so he can make a way out of no way for you. If it looks impossible, nothing is impossible. All things are possible for them that believe in those who are called according to his purpose. So have faith, but make plans. So that's what I do. Even before I left, when I went to Ghana in 2019 for the year return, I came back to America and I was at work and I was like, I knew I wanted to move to Africa, but I didn't know how. So I was at work, but I was praying. I was like, Father, I don't know. I want to move, but I know I feel like you want me. I feel like you called me and told me that you want me to move to Africa, but I don't know how. That's what I prayed, and he showed me a way to do it. And I followed, and I'm here 5 years down the line. I didn't have a lot of money, family. I didn't have a good plan. I didn't. I had an idea, but I didn't have a good plan. Everything that has come to fruition for me here in Africa, he has walked me through the walk of faith every day, every week. It went from day to day to week to week to month to year, everything he's provided, just like he did with Adam and Eve. When he created them and they got kicked out of the garden, they didn't know how they were going to make it because they were outside of their provision and they had to pray all the time. Father, it's dark. We need light. Oh, he showed them about lamps and lights. I don't know if you ever read the book of Adam and Eve, but it gives more details about what they had to do when they got kicked out the garden. They didn't know about life outside of the garden and they was afraid. They had to get the Most High to give them clothes. He had to provide everything for them, food, everything outside of their home, of the garden that they got kicked out of. So it's the same thing with us. When we leave America and we leave outside of our comfort zone or what anything we've ever known, he has to be our provision. He has to show us where to go. He has to provide the finances and the resources. He has to do it. I don't know how people who don't believe him make it, but if it wasn't for me believing and trusting in our Father, I don't even know where I would be today. I don't know what would be happening to me today. So I'm grateful. And that's why I always encourage people to have a relationship with him, because what he did for me, he can do for you. I'm not special in that aspect because he loved you just like he loved me. But he do love when we have a relationship with him and we ask him. He like when we ask him, Father, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. Can you tell me? Can you show me? Can you speak to me? Can you give me this? Can you give me that? Write down stuff you need. I need this, money for this, how I'm going to survive outside of the country or in the country or this or that. Ask him. Write it down and physically ask him, Father, I need A, B, C, and D. That's what I do. I need money for this, do that. I got to do this. Can you show me? Can you bless me? Can you send people or whatever? You got to ask. So, yeah, So TY says, so all we can do is put, okay, I read that part. Okay, Tim said, what do you recommend, sis, for someone who has credit card and student loan debt that they want to take care of, but am going to have to end up leaving before it's paid? What would you do? Um, See, Tim, I want to answer you honestly, but some of the things I might say could be a little bit controversial. And I know that I have enemies, frenemies, foes. We got ops, we got agents watching what we say and what we do. So I don't want to share some things that I would recommend you to do so they would know what we are doing and how we are doing it, if you understand what I mean. I'm saying to you, Tim, and if you listen to me, you will understand what I'm saying. Get out. Get out. That's what I'm telling you. Because once you are out, you are out. Once you are out, you are free. And I'm hoping you understand what I'm saying, Tim, because I can't give too much, because they record these videos and they play them back. So we have to keep some stuff within our private conversations that we have about how we survive outside of the house of bondage. So that's why I created that too. CO Mont 04. Yes, that's good advice. But whatever you can do inside, you can come outside and you can do it if that's something that you're able to do, Tim. I'm saying to you, Tim, leave no matter what. That's what I'm telling you. Because if you're outside, you're not there. You are free. You are out in another country, outside. You are free, Tim. And that's the most I can say. But I'm creating memberships. And I did my membership that they offered me was like $4.99. That's a lot. So I went down to $1.99. But I'm creating the membership package so I can speak a little bit more freely because it's private. So that's the only way that I can speak freely, because the videos I'm gonna do for members only, I'm gonna be able to really say what I don't want to say publicly, because we have to use wisdom in what we let the whole world know that we are doing, because they are watching to see how we are managing. So we won't be able to manage, if you understand what I'm saying. So we can't always share publicly how we do things outside of the house of bondage of America, of the Western countries, of the digital ID jailhouse. We can't share how we manage outside publicly. But believe me, we have systems set up outside of the wicked beast system. Okay, Tim. Okay, Tim. Yes, Tim. We move with wisdom and watch out for. Yes, Tim. Your answer aligned with my. Yes, Tim. Yes. So now you see why I want to create the membership. The only reason I say that is because it's a tool that they offer us as subscriber. I mean, as content creators. It's not something that I created. They offered this to me way back when I got monetized. Well, actually, yeah, they offered it to me not way back when, but they offered it to me in April. But I was like, I don't need that. But now, because it's a lot of information that I would like to share with people who want to leave the West, that will give them an idea of how we are managing some things, but I can't because ops, agents, our enemies, our oppressors, our captors, they're all watching all of our channels. A lot of our channels are shadow banned. A lot of our channels are being recorded. Mine, as we speak, is being recorded because how I know is because I keep freezing. As I'm live right now, my channel keeps freezing like somebody's recording it. So this is therefore I cannot say some stuff because they are recording. So I can share on private platforms, not that they can't see that too, but I feel a little bit more secure. I have a little bit more security in that to share a little bit more. I can't share everything that we are physically doing on the ground in these different countries outside of America. We have groups in almost every city or every country that we go into. There are groups in Panama. My sister's there. There are groups in Barbados. There are groups in Thailand. There are groups in every place we are, all throughout the continent. There are groups. So there are groups who are advising how to manage the certain things, the things that you are concerned about. Like Tim questions he had, we have those same things also, but we have developed a system of what we do and to manage these particular things. So, but at least if this is a members only live, then I could talk freely, which I'm gonna start doing members only lives and member only videos also, where I can talk freely and I don't have to worry about the ops and the agents. Not that this whole system is not an op and an agent, this whole YouTube thing, but there is a level of security, and I know what to share and what not to share on these things, even the private one. Some things I wouldn't share. I would only share certain things when you come here. If you come here physically and we meet for tea, coffee, that's what I like to do. I like to meet people for tea and coffee, maybe for lunch or breakfast or dinner or whatever. I usually do the day stuff like lunch and breakfast, but lunch and brunch. But I like that because I like to share stuff in person. I'm old school, kind of old fashioned. I'm a 70s baby. So I still like to share personal, private stuff with people in person. So, yeah, I would prefer, especially when it comes to how to manage stuff, how to organize your life in this country to where and show you how we do it, show you how the ones that are here, we do it. Everybody want to know how we manage it. Everybody want to know how we doing this and this and this. That's why we can't share it publicly. I used to, but I learned a lot. I learned that lesson being here for 5 years, that we need to move in silence. We need to move discreetly. We need to use discretion in certain personal things that we are doing as a nation of people, as a group outside of the West, in our relationships with our spouses, with our children. We don't have to show all this children if we don't want to, or husband stuff if we don't want to, or wife stuff. You don't have to do that. Your channel can be separate from your personal stuff. So I have learned that being here 5 years and being online. Because believe me, when you do that, people will use stuff against you. People will listen to what you say, and they can know how you guys are, how we are managing things. If you understand what I mean. How are they managing to do this in Kenya? How are they managing to do this in Tanzania? How are they managing to do this in Ghana? How are they managing to do this in South Africa? How are they managing to do this in Sierra Leone and Benin or whatever we are? How are they managing to do this? None of their business. None of their business. They want to know. Everybody always want to know what we got going on, because they want to know how we do things. And also we have our maker, our almighty, our creator, who is watching and protecting and providing resources and providing guidance and giving us favor when we do certain things. So yes, it seems like we are being, everybody is against us, which is true. We don't have nobody. We know that. But we do have our maker. When I say nobody, I mean the other nations on this earth. We have our maker, and he's given us all the tools, but he's sitting back watching. He is not going to come off his throne and pick your grown behind up and put your butt in another country. He's not going to do that for you. He's going to sit there and provide all the tools. Or he might wait for you to ask. He might be sitting on his throne saying, let me see if my daughter or my son going to ask me for what they need. Or they're going to just cry and complain and say, I don't have. Or are they going to ask me? Yes, that's how it is, chosen Juditus. You ain't the only one. It's a lot of our brothers and sisters channels, especially if you in the truth, shadow ban. Mine was shadow banned before I even got monetized. That's why it took me 5 years to get monetized. Because they was taking away my videos because I was here during the COVID, the C-19, and I was showing videos of people at the beach. Nobody was sick. Nobody was passed away here. And then, of course, Magufuli was alive. And so he was, they was against him. So, they was on me from day one. So that's why it took me so long. So I learned from that situation how they monitor our channels and stuff. That's how I learned how you can't share everything on these platforms. When it comes to us grouping, when it comes to us doing things together, that's the fear of a lot of nations and people when we do things together as a group. So we cannot share that publicly. We cannot. Yes, Tim, one-on-one. Yep, that's right. Yes, Tim. Yes, Tim. That's why I'm doing it. Yes, we know that's right, Tim. Exactly. Webster Stewart, welcome. Hi, welcome. Thank you. So we have to learn this. We have to learn this. And I'm learning myself. It took me 5 years of being here to learn how my stuff is being shadow banned, my stuff is being recorded, my stuff is being watched, even by this platform, family. So I'm learning that if you come here, let us meet. If you consult, this is what I do for my consultations. And I think I've said this before. When I consult with people, I do relocation or resettlement and business consultations because I resettle here and I have a company. It's 4 years old, right? It's small. It's consultations, but it's still a business. And as a matter of fact, it's I can share about taxes and all that different stuff. So I can do all that. But when I do consultations with people, when they decide to come, I meet them. If they pay me $60 for an hour consultation, I am going to meet them when they come here. And actually, if they consult with other people who are here, there are people who have consulted with other people before they got here, or there are some people who came on their own. If they email me or if they call me, I meet with them still. I don't even charge them. I meet with them. I want to make sure, I want to see them. One, I want to exchange numbers. Two, I want to make sure they have everything they need because at the end of the day, our people are our responsibility. I'm learning that they are our responsibility, especially outside of America, because the embassy ain't going to do nothing to help you no matter where you are. Nobody is going to do anything to help us except for us. So when they come here, because I've been here so long, in a way, I feel like they're my responsibility in a way that we got to get their number. We got to find out where they stand. We got to find out, who are they dealing with? If the phone is good, if what they living, what they rental situation, like we need to find these things out. So if they get in a bind, they can go somewhere, they can get robbed, as far as, burglar meaning. They can get burglared in their house, or they can get something snatched, the phone, or, anything can happen to them. They can get sick, anything. So we need to have each other's numbers. We need to know where each other stand. We need to have each other's emails, stuff like that, because we need to go be able to go, like, we need to be able to go get that person. So if that person gets somewhere and the phone dies, or the phone gets snatched and they don't anything can happen when you're outside of the country. So that's why it's good to have diaspora that you connect with when you come to that country. If they're in that country, exchange numbers, keep the communication open, because anything can happen to any of us, and we all have families in the States. We all do. So somebody can contact your family member and say, they got ill or something, y'all, forbid some pass away or something like that. It's part of life. The message can get to your loved ones, right? So that's why it's so important to connect when you go to any country, even if not only Africa, but anywhere, any of these countries. Just make sure it's some diaspora there that you connect with, and so they'll have your information. So if anything happens to you outside of your home, America, then they can contact your family, loved ones, whatever. So these are the type of things that I want to make sure that we share with each other when you come here. Everybody knows somebody. Different people have different groups here. There are different groups here, but most of them are not. I would say most of them are not online. I would say maybe 2 or 3, maybe more than that, maybe 5, between 5 and 10 people online. But even the ones online, they're not that big and they don't show everything. So that's that's not going to be a reflection of what we're doing here physically, because there's a lot of people doing things that's not online. People are moving in silence. When I say that, is they moving in silence. There are a lot of elders here. When I say elders, like retirement age, a lot, and they doing things. They got cars, they got houses, they doing business, they got farms, a good amount here, family. When I say a lot, I mean more than is online, because they're not online. A lot of them are not online because they're private. They're very private. And they know, the elders know you got to be like that, because they know how their enemies are, their captors are, their enemies, captors, and it's another one, enemies, captors, and it's 3 I always say. Enemies, captors, and oppressors. Enemies, captors, and oppressors. They know how they are. The ones raised the 60s, and the ones that's raised in the 60s babies and late, they already know the writing on the wall. It's just the newer, younger people, the Gen Zs and the Gen Xs, and the Gen Zs and the millennials. They don't really know right now. And so, yeah. So we just have to understand that our safety, our privacy, our moving discreetly and discretion is going to make a difference in how we are able to build together, do things to help one another. So everybody don't need to know what we're doing, because they watching. Believe me, they watching, and they listen to every single word we're saying. They looking at every video to see where your location is, what area is that, where they at. That's why I don't do videos outdoors that much. I mean, when I say outdoors, meaning moving around the community or the area, or the where I am in Dar. I don't do a lot of videos because I don't want people to know exactly where I am. So I don't show how to get to my house. I don't show a lot of that stuff. And if I did show a little bit as I was walking, 'cause I've done some videos walking, only locals would know. Only locals would know. And not all locals. You have to be in this area, that either live in this area or frequent this area to even know. Because when I get Ubers and Bajajis, I never have them come to my house. I always meet them at like a local store, like a local, store that's popular. And I walk there. So I'm just that serious about my security, even here. Security. Because you do know that they pay people to spy on you, to watch you, to follow you. Definitely, they do that in America. But here in Africa, they do that too. You got people that will do it for money. People that are poor will do anything for money, or people who are less fortunate will do anything for money. So they can pay somebody to find out where you live and try to connect with you. But the thing about here is they can only do that if you open the door, if you tell them where you live, if you tell them if they see through your YouTube channel, if you're telling too much, you're saying too much. But you're safe. That's yours. See, family, that's your safety. You can't do that anymore. It's time is up for you to be showing people where you live and all that. Now in America, you kind of screwed up. I mean, in the Western countries that's developed, you ain't got no choice because everything is on the map. They have the whole map of the United States. But when you live in developing countries, you have more of a chance to be discreet and live off grid and be hidden. You have a chance to be hidden. That's what you want. They can't find you. That's what I'm saying. Yes, Tim, it's very important. Moving discreetly and secretively and privately could be life and death for you. It's just that serious. This could be life and death for you. You have to put your safety, security, and privacy at the top, especially when you speak truth. This is why the things that I talk about on my channel, I would never be able to talk about if I lived in America. The things that I will say that again, the things that I talk about on my channel, I would not be able to talk like this if I lived in America. If I worked in America, I would not be able to, because I would not be safe. I could be a target. But because I'm not there, and because I'm not in their jurisdiction, and I'm not in a country that they are everywhere. Like me, I would never live in a country that has a U.S. military base. I would never live in an African country that has a U.S. military base. Tanzania does not have one. Kenya does. I would never live in Kenya. They have a U.S. military base. So the embassy is fine, but a military base? No, because guess what? They can send people to look for you in that country. You hear what I'm saying? So no, I don't want to be in no countries like that. That's why I would prefer to be, hey, Solo Soul, shalom, shalom, welcome. I would rather be in a country that has no U.S. military base, that U.S. has no jurisdiction over. They come in just like I come in. They got to come in with a passport. They're going to be asked questions at the border, just like everybody else. What you doing here? How long you staying? So I feel safer in a country that does not have a U.S. military base. I would never live in a country like that. I would visit a country like that on the continent. I would visit, but I don't want to live in a country like that. That's why I would not live in Kenya. I would not live in Kenya. I don't think I would not live in Uganda. I would not live in Rwanda. Those three countries I would never live in. I would visit. I would not live in South Africa. They got way too much jurisdiction there. I would live in countries that they don't have jurisdiction in. Tanzania, they don't. Arabs and Indians got this place on lock. I could deal with them. We are not Arabs and Indians arch enemies, but we are the U.S. They think they own us. We are their slaves because they think they own us. They're like a massive narcissist. So with narcissists, when they have you, they don't want to never let you go. Awakening soul, shalom, welcome. So you have to think about those type of things when you are wanting to go to a specific country, because you already know how the U.S. operates. You already know how dark and demonic they are. You already know what they do to African leaders. So from the lowest to the largest, they do this. From the highest to the lowest, they do the same thing. They send people. But one thing I can say about being in a country that doesn't have a military base, they have to use locals to do it. And it's more of a spying type of vibe. Because when you're out of the city, that's why you got to get out of the cities. That's why you got to be in the bush. That's why you got to try to get land outside of the cities. That's why when you from the West and you come to these different African countries or whatever country you go to, try to be off grid. If you go to Jamaica, try to be off the city, out the city. Don't go to these cities. Don't leave prison, the house of bondage, and go to another city that they can control. Go live outside. It's going to have to be undeveloped. Come on now. It has to be undeveloped. You got to do your own stuff. Get your own water, borehole, get you some solar panels, get you some land, or just live in a place. They have rentals off grid. It might be kind of undeveloped where you may have to do some stuff to, get the place comfortable for you. But your safety is the most important thing. Your peace, your freedom is the most important thing. You got to look at it like that. This is all tying into the digital ID. It's taking away your freedoms. You won't have freedom. You won't be able to buy and sell without it. You won't be able to use your bank account without it. You won't be able to fly without it. You definitely can't speak and say nothing. You won't have no freedom. Come on now. Come on, family. It's serious. It's very serious. And people can say it's fear mongering. We are at that point. Look at the nonsense that the UK is talking about. It's utterly insane, but it's coming to America next. Actually, guess what? They're setting it up as we speak. They haven't announced it like the UK prime minister is doing. I don't know if he's a prime minister, but whoever he is, I ain't been paying attention that much, but I know he's been saying it's starting this month in the UK. They're setting it up in the US. They haven't announced it. And normally they don't even announce stuff. It'll just be in effect and you won't know until you go to leave and they'll say, oh, you can't leave because you don't have a digital ID. You got to get your face scanned, hand scanned. We got to connect all your bank account and everything. Everything. When you go out of the country, you won't be able to buy nothing. Out they're gonna be like, oh no, you spending too much money. Your freedoms are gone, fam. You got to get out before your freedoms are gone. Don't wait till after your freedoms are gone because they may not even let you get over here and you may not even have access to your money because they say, oh, you don't have the digital ID. You can't use your bank. You got to come back to the US and they could do anything. Yes. Chosen Judah to show. Yes. I think about all that because family, we got to start thinking about the future. Because I look at it, I think about our survival. That's how I'm thinking about everything. I'm like, how can we survive and be safe, have peace, freedom? So those three things are very important: safety, peace, and freedom. Where can we live so we will have these things in the near future as the B system is being set up? Because that's what it is. How can we escape? There are ways that you can escape outside of the developed. You cannot escape in developed places because everything is already set up to accommodate the system. You can survive in countries that are not developed yet because there is terrain, there is land that's not touched. There's no wires, there's no stuff out there, no satellites, none of that. Yeah, you'll have a hard time with internet. Yes, you'll have a difficult time with your phone, your smartphone, but you have safety, peace, and freedom. All you need is farm. You need a food. You need to grow food so you can eat. Locals in those areas got farms already. They selling fruit, vegetables in the bush, out anywhere you go in underdeveloped countries. They got locals on everywhere selling food. You're not gonna starve. There are water sources. You could be by a water source, and then you just need your own lights. You might have to use an analog phone. but you'll have safety, peace, and freedom. And you won't be subject to this digital control. You got to think of the future, your survival long term, the survival of your children, the survival of your grandchildren. They're not going to be able to survive in that system there. And I don't think people are thinking about that. Your children won't be able to survive. They won't be free. They'll be controlled. They'll be like slaves again. You can't raise your kids. You can't allow your grandchildren, your children to be in a system like that. You just can't. You got to get out. Exactly. It's so much I've learned being here, family. And like I said, I cannot share it all. I try to give you a little bit of it, of what I've been thinking about, and how we as a people can survive this nonsense. I understand it's the last days. I understand this is the beast system. I get it. But people are there. There is going to be a remnant who can survive in it. And it's not going to be only the ships coming to save us. There are ways that you can live outside of this evil demonic system. I'm telling you ways. Because how can someone set up the beast system if it's not developed? Because it's not. It's electricity is not even run through. Like, there is virgin land. You see what I'm saying? There is land that's not touched outside of the developing countries. So you're going to have to leave developing countries and your comforts and move to a place that's underdeveloped so you can live free. You're going to have to build something. You're going to have to, you ain't going to be able to live like you used to live in. You might not have all the conveniences, but you'll have your life, you have your safety, you have your peace, and you have your freedom. Think about that. Pray about that. That's important, because that's the goal of this digital ID beast. That's the beast system, is what I've been talking about for my last 2 videos, the beast system. I think I did a live and I did a video. That's what this is, this digital ID. This is the start of it, but they're rolling it out, fam. And you don't want to have it rolled out and you didn't think ahead about how can I escape. You got to escape this thing, because it is going to be everywhere. But guess what? It's only going to be in Africa or in underdeveloped or developing countries. It's only going to be in this area that's on the grid, that's developed already. Because how can it be in the bush and ain't nothing out there? It can't be. You got to be in the bush. You got to be hidden out of the cities. Even if you have a community with like-minded people outside the cities and you barter with each other. I might be growing only bananas, or somebody might, you barter whatever you want, you share it with each other, you exchange it. You may not have money, but you got food that you grow. And instead of you not having money, I want an avocado. My neighbor, she grows avocados, so I'll take some of my bananas and take them to her, and we switch. I want some tomatoes. Dude down the road, he got tomatoes and onions. I'm gonna take some of what I got, my bananas, and exchange. You may have to barter. If you live in a community together, you can walk. Y'all can be right there with each other. You can go to each other's house. You ain't gonna need no phone, really, except for people who are out, out of where you are. But for your safety's sake, you can't be on the smart devices, because that's where they can try to figure out. It will still be difficult because you're not on Google Maps. So, for example, when I call a driver to where I live, even the locals, they cannot find me. They have to keep calling me several times. I have to get my groundsman to talk to them in Swahili to direct them and tell them where I am. Because exactly where I am is not on Google Maps. So when I do Uber, when I do Bolt, they can never find me. This is what I'm saying. You need to be off grid. I'm not that far from the main road, but because I'm in the rural area, it's not, the development is not at that point. The yeah, the development is not developed enough. But it's good that I have good internet, because my internet is, I have fiber internet. I have fiber. So when you have that, it's good, but they can also track you through your fiber internet. So that's another way you can be tracked. But the good thing is, even if they track you, you're not, it's hard to find you, because it's like when someone's tracking you, right? It's like a satellite type of thing, right? So they see where you are, but if they was to try to come where you are, it would be confusing if you are kind of in the bush a little bit. They would be driving, they would have to know somebody to get to you. So even though the satellite can track you, if you're not in the city and you're out somewhere, it'll be more difficult for a car to physically come where you are. Could be awakening soul, could be, but that's something that the B system is going to have set up too. If you are living in the bush or in the war areas in developing countries, you don't have to be underground. You, it don't matter if you're underground in a developing country, they're going to find you because they know that place. The goal is to get out of any developed first world developing countries, any of them, whether it's China, because all of them, you got to get out, because China already got the B system. Vietnam, all of them, they very developed. You don't want to be nowhere in those countries. You don't want to be nowhere in those Asian countries, because they highly developed too. They all going to have that system. You got to be in underdeveloped places. And you don't have to live underground. You can live on top of the ground, but you got to be in the bush to where they can't, the satellites are not where you are. It's nothing out there, no electricity, no nothing but solar panels. It's harder to find you. And when you decide to live out there for your safety, you can't use smart devices. You can't use them. You can't do this internet stuff. You can't do this smartphone. You got to use analog phones. You can use a walkie-talkie. You can use an analog phone that's not smart. You cannot use these devices if you want to be safe and you want to be outside of the beast system. Digital system is digital. You want to be safe, you're gonna have to not use those, because you're giving them access to where you are, even though it's gonna be harder to find you, but they're gonna keep trying, and they'll come even out further to try to keep trying to find wherever you are in that vicinity, cutting down trees, putting more wires up and satellites, so you don't want to do that, to make people keep trying to get closer and closer to where you live, your safe haven. You gotta be off grid in every way. The only communication you basically should have is the ones who live amongst you. You have like a community that y'all all doing this together. Those are the only ones that should know where you live. You're gonna have your drivers, you're gonna have your people who clean for you. They're gonna all be living in your community. So nobody is gonna be bringing nobody where you at. You're not gonna even have to really leave to go far for stuff, because everything you need is gonna be right there. It's gonna have to be like that. It's gonna have to literally be your own world almost, for safety reasons. For safety reasons. So think about those things, family. Don't forget to thumbs up the live stream. Don't forget to share if you know anyone that's interested in visiting Tanzania, relocating, doing business. I do business and relocation and business consultations. I share, as you can see, I'm sharing a lot of things that I don't normally share online. That's why I like to do the lives, because I can share certain things, and I don't always know. I want to share stuff, but I know I can't. Y'all know I can't, because it's putting our safety, security, and privacy and freedom at risk. That's why we can't share everything. It's not like in a way, it's kind of like a gatekeeping safety measure is what I'm trying to do, which is why I'm choosing to do the membership. I feel like people who become members and pay, I changed it because the membership program they had with me was like starting $5 and then $9. I'm like, that's a lot. So I created one for $1.99. But at least for those people, it's members only. So it's private. So I can talk about certain things that we're trying to work together to do. People keep saying, oh, we can't work together. We don't have this and that. We do. Believe me, we do. In different countries, we do. We do. Don't think we don't. It's not online and it's not a big shindig. It's not a big blah, blah, blah. We can't move like that. We got to be low key. We got to be low key because everybody's watching us and looking and listening to try to infiltrate what we got going on. Definitely can't do nothing in these developed countries. We can't do nothing because they're going to destroy everything we try to do. Whether it's even in developing countries, even in America, wherever we trying to do, buy land and do grouping together, they're going to destroy that. Just like they did in the past. They are the same people. They do the same. The bloodline is the same. Just like we're the same people as the children of Israel. The bloodline is the same. They're going to do the same thing that their ancestors did. They're going to burn our stuff down. It's not going to change. They're going to pull us out of our houses, off our land. That's not going to work. We can't do the same thing. We got to do something different. So Africa or outside Caribbean, I say Caribbean, Brazil, Africa, places where it's a lot of Black people, off grid is going to be the safest. Off grid people, when I say people who look like you. So you don't want to go to a country where when things get tight, when the country's falling apart, when the government is acting crazy, guess what the people going to do? Everybody going to look at you as a foreigner or that person that's Black, and they're going to come against you because they're raging. So you don't want to be in a country where everybody they don't look like you. You're going to be the focus of their rage. You want to be in a country where everybody looks like you, so you blend in. So if you walk to the market or if you're walking down the street, ain't nobody going to know that you're not from there because everybody look like you. That's why it's going to be the safest place. So when things get tight, countries get unstabilized, they get mad at people start revolting. They don't know who you are. You look like them. They ain't gonna focus on you. But if you in Africa and you of another nation, like you white or Arab, not Arab, if you white or Asian or something like that, then they can look at you and be like, oh, look at that foreigner. But in Africa, they can't tell. So guess what? You're gonna be the safest. You're gonna be the safest here in a country where people have the same texture of hair, where they have the same color skin, where they look like you. They don't even know unless you open your mouth that you're not from the continent of Africa. That's why it's going to be the safest. So if you want to be off grid doing this and that, ain't nobody going to bother you. Ain't nobody going to bother you because it's the most issues and drama, if you notice, on the continent is in the city areas. Some of the, villages, they have, the ones that's really the war stuff, that's a little bit different. But when I say like the political stuff and the digital IDs, all that stuff is in the city, like Nairobi, city areas across, like city areas, Johannesburg or Cape Town or somewhere like that. But outside, it's usually safe, quiet, and peaceful. The people outside may not have a whole lot because they're off grid, but they can live, they can survive. This is the survival of the fittest right now. It's going to be survival of the fittest. Everybody ain't going to make it. Everybody ain't going to survive. You got to make plans for survival. That's what it's coming down to. It's survival right now. You're going to stay in America and fight. You're going to fight. Whether you're a woman, whether you're a child, or you elder, you're going to fight with the men. The men already saying, we're going to stay, we're going to fight. No problem. You want to fight? Fine. But there are some people who don't want to fight. Like me. I'm done with fighting over there. I don't want to fight. That's why I left. Because I knew we're going to have to fight again. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of fighting. I want to go. And I left. It's people like that don't want to fight. They're going to have a choice because their homes are going to be invaded. Their land is going to be invaded. Everything that they own is going to be, the government's going to take with their digital ID. They're going to take all your possessions and put you in like a project or like a dorm living. They're going to tell you where you got to live. You ain't going to be able to have no house. They're going to take all that. They're going to control all that. That's the purpose. You're going to be living in a dorm. And you're going to be allowed a certain amount of money to live. Yeah, I can't live like that. I can't live controlled like that. I got to be free. I'd rather live off grid and free than have somebody allocating my money, telling me what I can and cannot spend my money on. I can't travel. I can't do this. I can't buy a car. I can't buy this house. Oh, I got to live in this dorm and give me this amount of money. And I don't need a car. You can ride a bike. Like, they're going to be able to control all that for you. I can't live like that. I can't. Yes, the earth will. The earth will protect us as well. The earth definitely will protect us, Chosen, because you're going to have your water from there too. You're going to have fruit growing on the earth. That's part of a protection where you can grow food. The Most High can multiply the little bit you have. You might only have one seed. You might go somewhere that's a bush and you think it's all bush. But then you might wake up one day and you might have fruits and stuff growing everywhere that you didn't even plant. The Most High can work like that. Yes, soul. Yes, the Most High can work like that. So he want to see if you're going to do your part. He going to do his part. What are you going to do? Do you want to be free? Do you want to get out? Do you want to not be controlled by your enemies, your oppressors, your captors? The devil, the children of the devil, Satan, fallen angel, devils, demons, reptiles. They eat flesh and drink blood. Family. Yes, soul. It's already in play. So the Most High could do that for us. We be running. We go out in the bush. We be like, oh, I had no seeds. Oh, I forgot to get my seeds. We out here. Father, help. Go to sleep. It could be just miraculous like that. You go to sleep and wake up and go outside and you stretching and you look and it could be apples and oranges, bananas and all kind of, you can see, it could be a lamb. It could be a goat. You can eat have a feast because you living off the land. So yes, the land will protect and take care of us. That's what it was created for, to nurture the children of Israel. But you gotta have faith and you gotta step out of your convenient digital ID, oppressor, captor, enemies, land, family, and come to a land of milk and honey, even the Caribbean. Everything growing in the Caribbean, just like here. If you don't like Africa, go to the Caribbean. Go to one of these Caribbean, Barbados, Panama, Dominican Republic. Go to one of those Caribbean countries where people black. You ain't got to come to Africa, but just get out of there where these Europeans are. They crazy. They fallen angels, family. They're fallen angels, devils, fallen angels, reptiles. They're not human beings. That's why they want to see people die. They want to see death. They feed off of flesh and blood. They take your soul. Get out from amongst those wicked, evil, demonic people and go to a place where people look like you. Those are the ones that's the real human beings, to be honest. The real human beings are the African people. When I say African, I mean black and African, the same people. Those are the human beings. Those Europeans, you don't know, because you already know in their DNA, they Neanderthal, all of them, they have Neanderthal in them. Africans are the only 100% human beings in the world. Everybody else, all the Asians, the whites, all of them got Neanderthal in their DNA. That's why they like raw meat. They eat flesh and drink blood. Their gods do that. They're Greek gods that you love, that you worship. The Divine Nine. You worship Greek gods. Come on now, wake up. And that they have said, right. Exactly, Tim. Exactly. That's why I'm saying this is while we're sitting back and it's quiet. You're watching what's going on in the UK, the digital. It's coming. It's look. The same thing he's saying. That's what's going on in America, but they're not saying it because they know that people are going to act a fool. But it's going to be a point where they ain't gonna care if you act a fool. They're gonna say it, and then you're gonna be stuck because then you ain't gonna be able to fly without it. You ain't gonna be able to travel without it. The Most High, yes, He gonna make a way for His people. I don't doubt that he gonna have that some way mass exodus to get His people out. I don't doubt that, but our people gonna go through Jacob's trouble. Our people gonna go through the tribulation. Some people gonna go through the tribulation, which is now, and then Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is for the Israelites, but tribulation is for the other ones. But Jacob's trouble, y'all know what Jacob's trouble is. People gonna be dying left and right. People gonna be running for their lives. People gonna be, they're gonna have a choice. Either you take the mark or you get your head chopped off. That's your choice. Those who trust the Most High, they're gonna have to get their head chopped off. Because if you take the mark of the beast, then your soul is damned to hell. So not only is your body gonna die, your soul. So you don't want to be in that situation, family. So you got to get out of there. Get out of there. Again, I'm saying, and I said I wasn't going to do this again, but I'm saying it. See, the magnitude of what we're talking about, when you understand the scriptures and you understand the level of wickedness in these people, you wouldn't even want to live in any country with these people. You wouldn't. These people want to depopulate the world. This Bill Gates, he's a fallen angel. He's wicked. Literally, he's probably not human. I don't even think he's human. He's either a reptile or fallen angel. He wants to see people unalive. He wants flesh. They eat flesh and drink blood, family. This is very serious. And when our people go into these encampments, they're not coming out. If you go into any encampment, FEMA or anything, you won't be coming out. You might as well, you're gone. Because you won't be yourself if you do make it to live. You might be a transhuman. You'll have some kind of, they can put you to sleep and do all kind of stuff to you, put all kind of stuff in your body. Like, you can't trust these people, fam. You can't trust these people. So think about it, pray about it. But this has been heavy on my heart. So I'm like, what can I do, Father? What can I do? So that's why I decided the membership, I could use that because it's private. And then I have a Facebook group called Beyond the Rivers of Kush. And if anybody is on Facebook and they want to join the group, you can send me a DM. I'm Wanda Hanford on Facebook. You can send me a DM and I will invite you to the group. I have to see your picture. I have to see what you look like. Because this is for Afro descendants. This is for African Americans in America and African Americans in Africa. Right now, it's only 2 areas that I'm focused on because I don't want it to get so big that I get overwhelmed. So I'm focusing on America and Africa only right now. So if you are in Africa and you are from America, and if you in America and you want to come to Africa, and if you are in America, you can be in there anyway if you're Black. And because it may get to a point in America where something's going on and somebody might have to alert people like, everybody, if you in this area, don't go to I-25 because they grabbing people and they got something to put people in for FEMA. Then we in that group can say, make that announcement in the group. So people in the group, they can share it with people outside the group, but then the group, they can get updated on, don't go here. Don't do this. They're here. Or they in this state, or they're doing this to help people. So that's why I want to use that group. That's why I changed it and decided to use that group. I initially created the group because I was created for people who wanted to leave America and go to Africa. But now I feel the urgency that we need to be grouping together. It's a lot of different groups that are being created, but we need to group together for help. So it could be people in America, they don't want to go into the FEMA camps, right? But they don't have a shelter. So it could be somebody in the group that say, oh, I got land. Oh, I got room. I'm here, whatever. And then you and your children, or you and y'all can come here. Or we don't have no food and we don't want to go to FEMA. We scared to eat their food. And somebody might say, oh, I got a farm. I'm in America. I got a farm and I'm here. If you could, you can come and I got plenty of food, blah, blah, blah. Stuff. I want to use it for stuff like that. Somebody could be sick. Somebody could be having a baby. We constantly have babies no matter what's happening. It could be nurses in there. It could be midwives in there. It could be people that can say, okay, where you at? Okay, I'm here. Or I'll come to whatever. We are using that group to mobilize for emergencies in America and in Africa. So if you're in Africa, or if you're leaving America and you want to come to Africa, right? You want a group. You say in that group, because I had one lady, she's in Kenya, and she said she had some land that she was wanting, allowing for our people to, they want to come to her land. She's allowing them to come if they want to. And so people started connecting with her. Where you at? She said she in Kenya. And people say, I'm a DM you. So stuff like that. You don't know who got money. You don't know who got land where. But if you were in a group like that, everybody's in it talking. Oh, I got extra. I got a farm. Oh, I got supplies if people need blah, blah, blah. Or I got this, or we could do this. Or you don't know. You don't know. We might have people that got a boat and be like, look, I got a yacht. I got a big boat that we can use to go to blah, blah, blah. You don't know. But we got to be in an area. We got to have little groups where we can communicate just with us. We can't do it publicly. We can't do that publicly. So I created the group. It's called Beyond the Rivers of Kush. I'm just the admin and the moderator. I'm not the leader, because I don't want to be a leader, but I created it because I know people and I have, connections. So I created it for everybody to get in there and talk to each other. I am here, but it's a lot of people that's in America. They can talk to each other in there. I'm just like the admin and the moderator because I created it. And I make sure that there are no spamming. There are no ops agents talking crazy. You getting blocked. I'm not arguing. If anybody arguing, they got to go. This is serious. This is life and death right now. So we need these groups for emergencies. We can't be having people being distracting, arguing, and ops in there and I'm blocking. If you ain't helping, and if you ain't offering either services, or if you ain't offering resources, if to help people, to help children, to help whatever, then you got to go. You got to go. So that's what I'm doing on my end. I don't have a lot of resources. I don't have a lot of money to do this, but I got connections and I got groups that people can group in. That's what I'm using my membership for. And that's what I'm using this Facebook group for. I'm not on those other platforms. I'm on Instagram, but Instagram is weird for me. I don't want to do nothing. I don't know if they can do groups in there, but if I'm on Facebook, you might as well be Instagram, right? Because Instagram, they all connected. But that's what my contribution to try to help is to try to mobilize people. Hey, Dawn, welcome. Either way, Tim says, if we're led to do so, either way, we need to endure to the end. But a lot of excess pain may have been avoided. If we would have. That's true. I mean, I know it's going to be a lot of people who stay. I know that. Everybody is not. I don't know. Some people just, people are not going to. Some people, they are going to stay and wait. But while they're waiting, they got to try to stay alive. They got to try to stay alive. They're poisoning the food, poisoning the water, digital ID, controlling the money. It is literally going to be a fight to stay alive. I don't want to live like that. I'd rather be outside chilling by the beach, going to the beach, walking in the sand, going to the mountain. I want to live like that. Off grid. I'm too old. I'm too old to be trying to run around and doing all this. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to relax. I want to be in chill mode. Even if I want to be off grid, I live like, I don't know if y'all know that movie Gilligan's Island. I want to live like how they did Gilligan's Island, but it was like a tropical island. They got shipwrecked on this island. I'm a 70s baby, so it's old. A lot of younger people probably won't know it, but they got shipwrecked on a deserted island and they had to figure things out. And it was so beautiful and so tropical. And they just had to figure things out. They had to eat coconut, and they just had to figure things out. And it was like a beautiful life. It was in the middle of like nowhere, but it was water and it was tropical. That's how I want to live. I want to be like somewhere without a lot of people, and where we can live and just enjoy nature and eat natural food. And you ain't got to worry about your air being poisoned, your food being poisoned, your water being poisoned, and your skin breaking out and you're getting all these diseases because your food ain't right. You ain't got to worry about none of that, because when you live off the land, you're like your most healthiest. There's 20 people in the stream. Welcome to Diaspora Connect in Tanzania. You are very welcome. Thumbs up the live stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, we just talking about this digital ID, and we just chatting and talking about the seriousness of it. And we're talking about how the U.S. is doing the same thing the UK is doing. They're just not announcing it. You got to know that. They're setting up. They're not announcing it like the UK, the man in the UK. But believe me, it's being set up right now. It's being set up. And then when it's set up, they'll announce it. That's how America does. They will announce things after it's already done. They don't announce things before it's done so you can prepare to get out. They wait until after everything is ready to go. And then they say, oh, tomorrow it starts the digital ID. You won't be able to do nothing without the ID. You won't be able to go to the grocery store. You won't be able to fly. You won't be able to use your banking account. You won't be able to do nothing until you get the digital ID. That's how U.S. does it. The professor and Marianne. Yes, Dawn. Yes, Gilligan's Island. Yes, you know it, Dawn. You know it. That's how I want to live, Dawn. I want to be on a deserted island, even with it could be a lot of our people, like just with our people on a deserted island somewhere, or just out rurally and just us living together. That's how I want to be, because it was so peaceful, no developed stuff and all this noise. Everything was fresh off the land. That's how I want to spend the rest of my days. Yeah, I want to live like that for the rest of my days. I don't want to be in these cities and with all this digital and all this guns and all this stuff. I don't want to be around that type of stuff. I think that's why I like it so much here in Tanzania, because Tanzania is still like Dar is still developing. So it's not like Nairobi. I think that's why I like it so much, because it gives me a vibe of like a Caribbean. It gives me like a Caribbean vibe because it's not so developed. So people still walk like barefooted, sometimes out in the dirt, or sometimes like at the beach or in the sand. Like it's still real natural. And I like the feeling of being like in nature, like not being like it's not a lot of people running around and all these cars and all these guns and all these fighting and all these knives. They have knives, but they use it. Like nobody's hurting or harming nobody. I've been here for 5 years and I have not heard of anybody getting unalived, except for the president of the country, of course. But I haven't heard of the stuff you hear in America. You don't experience none of that here. So it's literally like you're on an island by yourself, especially when you live outside of the major cities. It's so peaceful, family. It's a peace, almost like a peace that passes all understanding. It's unreal. I haven't experienced anything of this magnitude in America like I'm experiencing here. Yes, Dawn, it's being rolled out globally within a year. Yes, Dawn. Marie, I'm sure the FEMA camps will be terrible. Marie, if they go into FEMA camps, they ain't gonna come out. Then people gonna be I'm gonna tell you something. The FEMA camps is probably the dinner for the aliens, because y'all know aliens are in America. That's the food for the aliens. The people that go on FEMA, they're gonna be the homeless people. They're gonna be food for the aliens. That's why they're gonna disappear. People are disappearing. They're being eaten. Aliens are there. They're real. Family, they're real. They're eating in America. The ones who run, the hidden hand that runs America are beasts. That's why it's called the beast system. They are fallen angels. They are real. Reptiles are real. Fallen angels are real. Aliens are real. They are eating our people. Why do you think they're missing? They're missing. They are dinner. They're dinner. And not only that, you got the children of the devil who eat flesh and drink blood. Family. Those people are wicked over there. Wicked. They're evil. When we say wicked, this is on another level. This is a supernatural wickedness. This is demonic, satanic. The serpent, the dragon is real. Those his children over there. They want to see the creation of the Most High destroyed. They want to see humanity destroyed, changed. They want to see the apple of our Father's eye defiled in front of him. Like, I could tear your creation apart. I can poison your creation, eat your creation. They want to see this because they hate the Most High. So they hate his creation. You're living amongst those type of people right now. Right. Exactly, Dawn. Exactly. You don't hear of a lot of death here. That's why I'm like, Tanzania is like, and it's not only it's a lot of African countries. You don't hear a whole lot of that. Like, more, you'll hear more stuff in the city areas like Nairobi. Kenya got some things going on over there. That's why I would never leave Tanzania to go to Kenya. But I would live in Kenya before I live in America, because it's still outside. You can still go to Mombasa. Nobody's in Mombasa, family. Mombasa is like beautiful like here. Mombasa ain't nobody, they don't have a whole lot of people there. That should be where everybody be trying to go to. Mombasa in Kenya, not Nairobi. Go to Mombasa. But the president is also in Kenya is trying to roll out the digital ID. He just had a conference trying to encourage the other African leaders to get on board with the digital ID. His country is going to be the doorway for that digital ID to come into the continent. The only way that it won't be forced, like what he's trying to do, is if he don't get along with that country. Like, if that president is not okay with him, they're not going to follow him. And I'm kind of glad, I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of glad that Tanzania and Kenya ain't like that. I'm glad that Tanzania and Kenya, they be beefing with each other. I like that. The presidents, they be beefing with each other a little bit. I like that. That means that Tanzania ain't gonna be down with what Kenya trying to push. That digital ID. I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad. I'm hoping it stay that way. Because this man, this Ruto, yeah, he on another level with this digital ID. Talking about putting it in newborn babies. So that means there's Kenyan ladies that know they ain't going to the hospital. They're just gonna have their babies at home. No problem. Africans do that anyway. Except for the ones that love the West, they're gonna be down with that technology, and they're gonna be like, it's fine. Yeah, nah, that's just that's the destruction of your child. An innocent baby. Our soul is already gone before they even get a chance to make a choice. It's wrong. It's wrong to try to put some digital stuff in a baby, an infant, a newborn. It's wrong. So, yeah, digital ID, family. It's going to be everywhere, but it's going to be more in certain countries. The more developed, it's going to be easier to get the citizens under control. The less developed, it's going to be easier for the citizens to have true freedom, safety, freedom and safety. To be out, you got to be out. So you got to let go of wanting to be all these conveniences that you like at a fingertip, because you're going to get all kind of conveniences. AI going to be able to do everything and control you too. So what comes with your love of conveniences will come with your loss of freedom, because you love conveniences so much that it's going to be so controlled that you ain't going to have no kind of freedom. You love technology so much, they're going to control you with it, basically. I don't know, Wilson, if that's best for the Western countries, because the beast system is a loss of freedom for the citizens. So it's not necessarily that it's best for the Western countries. Well, that's true. It's best for the government, that the beast system. The beast system is there to control the people, to control the people. So a human being was not made to be controlled like that. That's wicked. Even your creator gives you a right to choose. He says, choose ye this day who you will serve. Even the one who made you, the one who created you, gave you a choice to choose. He don't take your choice away. You can choose him and choose life, or you can choose the devil, Satan, his adversary, and choose death. But he giving you the choice. So no human being should have another human being in a position where they take their choice away from them. It's wicked. It's very wicked. Very wicked. Anybody that's taking away people's freedom and control, they're a wicked, a demonic nature, because even your creator don't do you like that. He said, you choose this day who you will serve. And so you have to make a choice. He gives you all kind of warnings to warn you what's to come. It's the mark of the beast been in the Bible for forever. Now it's here and people ain't recognizing it. You won't be able to eat and buy food in the grocery store unless you get it. Digital ID is starting, but eventually those who they control, once they get this digital ID set up with your eyes and your hands, then they're gonna control you. Then you're gonna get the chip, because they control you. You ain't gonna have a choice. You're a slave. And if you have the courage to stand up, then it's going to be an option. Either you get it or you die. You get your head chopped off. Either you get the chip or you get your head chopped off. They control everything anyway. They already got you under the digital ID. So they control all your money. They control your food. Either they're going to starve you to death, or you ain't going to have no money, no bank account. So you holding on to it, and you don't want to leave the U.S. because you don't want to leave your money. They're going to take your money anyway. You might as well leave. At least you got your freedom. Tim, you have not seen the president. He had a meeting. It's all online. Go on YouTube and put digital ID, Ruto in Kenya, digital ID. Put that in the search, and all the videos will pop up of him saying this. The president is all online. That's how I saw it. They're going to start chipping the infants when the ladies go to the hospital, have the babies. Easy fix, because the ladies are not, the Kenyans that are not okay with it. They just have their babies at home. That's not a problem. They do that anyway. Most of the Kenyans have their babies at home because a lot of them they can't afford to go to the hospital anyway. This is for those who can afford to go to the hospital. Tim, it's all online. Just Google what I told you and you'll see him talking about it. They're testing it in December. It's starting in December. They're rolling it out for like 3 months or something. It's a test. It's starting. That's right, Don. That's right. The Most High He never created us in a position where we had to go to the store and get food. It's always been, he said that he gave us trees and herbs for food. So this stuff was there for free for us. The water, the air, the food. The Western civilization set things up to where they control the food and all that stuff. But when you come out of her, you come out of those developed, controlled, developed countries, you go into the natural, into the land, into the bush, and you grow your own food. That's where you can sustain your own self. Yes, Tim, it's all online. And I think he says a 3-month trial and it starts in December. He was even trying to convince other African leaders to digitize everything. Because, Kenya is like the tech hub. Kenya is going to be like the Silicon Valley in Africa. It's highly technical. So that's where, because, they down with the U.S. The UN is there. He agreed to let them come. Why do you think all this is going on? U.S. military base is there. Yeah, I can't be there. I can't be in no country like that. I'm trying to leave away from that. I don't want to be in no country that the U.S. controls. Yeah. So I'm good in Tanzania. No, they don't offer citizenship here, but they got residency permits. And I stay here until I figure out what other country I want to go to. But it's definitely not going to be one that the U.S. controls. Not. I go visit, but actually it's going to be at a point where a lot of those countries are going to accept the digital ID, like Kenya, probably South Africa, going to accept it because, South Africa love them white folk. So those two countries are going to be out of the question. I can't visit no country that's requiring no digital. So yeah, I got to stay in the countries that's not going to do that. Yeah. I'm thinking about my own safety and protection. I'm trying to live long. I'm trying to survive. And I got to use wisdom in the country that I decide I want to go to. Yes, Wilson. Exactly. Exactly. they doing it. They doing it. That's why they rolling it out in Kenya. The UN is there. Their new headquarters is there. So it's going to be a lot going on over there. So I hope they keep it over there, because Tanzanians and Kenyans ain't like that. And I'm glad. I'm down with I'm with the Tanzanians on that. I knew I liked Tanzanians for a reason. I like Tanzanians because they love their culture. They love their tribes and stuff like that. So they're not so westernized. They're not westernized like that. They love their nature and their foods and all that. So those kind of countries are going to be strong towers against the beast system, because they don't just follow Western people. They got their own mind. They do their own thing. Not that they are perfect and not that they have everything together, but at least they don't subscribe to all that. They're not controlled by the West like that. I'm glad. And Magufuli did a very good job to encourage his people to stand on their own 2 feet and to look at their own stuff. They got their own minerals. They got everything they need here. They got resources. They got food. They don't need the West, so they don't have to follow the West stuff. I like that about Tanzania. That's why I love this country, because they are true to their own culture, their own language, and they doing their own thing. They're not following the West like that. Yes, Wilson. Right. So yeah, y'all gotta think about these type of things. Pray about it. It's not to be fearful, but it's to use wisdom and to understand the time you in right now. Why people dance? Why are people over there dancing, laying back, going on vacation, chilling, relaxing, like they say? All this is being set up. Then when they come back off their vacations and come to reality, it's going to be digital ID time, or some got to give. That's right. Yep, Dawn, I agree with that. That's right, Wilson. Yep, yep. It's just was after that COVID situation and after being here, it's just something about Tanzania that just won my heart because how they stood strong. They were the only country, well, some of the other ones was to Haiti. I mean, yeah, the Haitian president was doing that, but Tanzania was standing strong, 10 toes down, and nobody wasn't. They saw the truth about the West that broke through all their uh, things about the West. They started seeing the truth, and it's just something about Tanzania when they stood against. I said, yeah, I like this country. I like this country. I like the people. They have pride. They have pride in their country. They got pride in their tribes. They got pride in their beliefs. I like that. I like that about Tanzanians. Yes. Yes, Dawn. Yes, Dawn. So, a lot of the other countries are waking up too. A lot of the Caribbean countries are starting to see some things too. Some of them are still sold out, but some of them are starting to see. And I don't think the Caribbean countries are going to do the digital ID. I don't think. I'm hope some of them might, but a lot of them are a lot of them are having a change of heart about the West, and so they may say, "Nah, we don't want that over here." That'll be those countries will be safe in the Caribbean. Who says that? But all the ones that love America, stay away from any country that loves the West. Don't go to no country that love the West because they're gonna take everything that the beast put out. The seed of the beast is in the White House family. They put out everything and everybody accepted. Everybody accepted. Yes, you do, Tim. Yes. Yes, Tim, you do. You do. Because it makes a difference when it was a lot of dishonesty and stuff going on with certain people, but that's everywhere, with people being scammed in Tanzania and all this different stuff, but that's everywhere. But just understand the bigger picture. Understand the bigger picture of what our survival means and what you need to look for in a country where you want to not just leave America to escape and then they down with America and everything that America is pushing, they're gonna push. So that's the only thing for me also about Liberia. Liberia, I was thinking about Liberia, even though it's on the West Africa, and I like East Africa, but I start thinking they too connected to the US, so that wouldn't be a good thing because they whatever the US pushes, they're gonna push. They're gonna push that digital ID in Liberia too. Yeah. So you want to be in a country that's independent of the West, strong in their what they believe. You're going to be safer in those countries because they're not going to try to force this US stuff on you, even though you left the country. I would not recommend you going to the enemies of America's country, like China and Russia. I would not recommend you as a Black American going to neither one of those countries. I would not recommend you going to any of the enemies of America's countries, China or Russia. I would not recommend you go there if you're Black. But we got people that are going to China. I would not recommend that. They're the enemies of the US. You got a US passport. Stop the madness. Come on now. It's more them than you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go somewhere where people look like you. At this point, I don't know if I recommend you going to Mexico because the cartels is threatening Americans because of Trump. The cartels are threatening Americans. I wouldn't recommend that right now. I would not recommend Mexico right now. That's true, Don. I agree with that. Right, Wilson. But Liberia, America got Liberia in the pocket. So you know that the digital ID is going to be there. But the good thing in Liberia versus America is the fact that it's a lot of untapped, undeveloped land in Liberia. So that would be another good safe haven place to be off grid. But I think, do they have a military base in Liberia? If they have a military base, then that's a problem. Anywhere there's a U.S. military base, you do not want to be in that country. They don't have one in Tanzania. You do not want to be in that country if you want to escape the digital ID situation. You don't want to be where there is a military base, a U.S. military base. Embassy is fine, but a military base you don't want to be. And y'all remember in Tanzania, the U.S. Embassy was bombed before. I think it was in 2015, 17. I don't know. It was just look it up. The U.S. Embassy was bombed here in Tanzania. I think it was by some, maybe some Arabs or something. But yeah, that reassured me as well. I'm just saying, family. I felt reassured to be here also. I also told people, and I also say, don't move anywhere near a U.S. embassy. If you are moving out of America, do not live close to a U.S. embassy in whatever country that you go to, because the U.S. has too many enemies. I was saying that back in 2020 when I arrived here. I did not want to live nowhere near a U.S. embassy here because it's already been bombed one time in the past. And now this administration is making too many enemies. I don't want to be nowhere near it. So, yeah. So that's something you need to consider as well. Don't live nowhere near no U.S. embassy, no matter what country you're going to. Wilson, are you serious? Where did you learn English? Do he not know the history of Liberia? I don't think he do. Because if he did, he would not have asked the president of Liberia that stupid question. That's cray. That's cray. But yeah, so anyway, I guess I'll end this live. We've been chatting for a while. Yeah. Oh, it's been some hours, fam. Yeah, I guess I'll end it now. It's 11:35 here in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and I'm all laughing, talking loud like it's the afternoon, and I know all my neighbors are asleep. So I guess I will end this live. Thank you so much for taking the time to view my channel, to view my live. Don't forget, thumbs up, like the video, share like the live, share it if this is the replay. Thank you. I do have memberships. I created one that's $1.99 a month instead of $4.99 and $9.99. I'm like, why is my packages so large? Anyway, so I created a package for $1.99, and it's something like how we gather in mobilizing and something. I forget what I named it. But anyway, it's a private membership situation where I will be doing videos and lives just for members only about some details that I can't talk about on public platform. So as you know, we have to mobilize and we have to do things privately and securely like that. So have a good day, afternoon, and evening. I am about to go and shut the stream down and close it out. So I will see you guys in the next stream. I'm going to do streams more often. I just don't like to announce when I do them because I'm very spontaneous. So I don't always know when I want to do them. Sometimes I don't want to say I want to do them on these days and then I don't feel up to it. So I come on and do live streams when I have energy, I'm rested, and I have something to chat about. All right, family. So you have a good one. If you're interested in doing relocation or business consultations, I do consultations. I charge a fee. It's a 1 hour consultation. So if you're interested, email me at diasporaconnect0@gmail.com. I will put it in the chat one last time, my email address, and you can email me. Connect. Connect0@.com. I hope I spelled that right. Thank you, Chosen Juditus. Diasporaconnect0@gmail.com. Yes. So if you have questions, general questions, I'll answer them for you. Yeah. Is that con or com? Oh, I answer general questions, but I do consultations. But so you can send me an email if you're interested. How I do it is once people make their payment and then I receive it, then we schedule a date and time, and then we do a chat via the phone. So we do a live chat. And then we talk. I get to see them. They get to see me. I always like to lay eyes on people to make sure that they are who they say they are. So I always want them to show their, so I can put a face with a name. So as I'm talking to them, as they're coming, making plans, and then when I meet with them, I will have an idea of what they look like. So that's kind of how I do it. It's a part of the screening process. You have to have some type of thank you. I will be safe. You be safe over there. It's very safe over here, but I be hearing some crazy stories about what's going on over in Babylon. But anyway, yeah. So, so everybody have a good one, and I will see you guys in the next stream, video, short, live. What else? Yeah. Okay. Shalom, salama, peace, family.